The news just came across that the capture of a murderer in Pennsylvania who's been on the run now for 2 weeks. And I think they had over 400 law enforcement agencies from across the board, ATF, FBI, local, from all sorts of places to try and track down this very elusive prisoner. And then, just as the news broke, a couple of things really struck me, and how proudly these law enforcement officers, who were clearly embarrassed by this escape, felt when they captured this man. So much so that they lined up around him and had photographers taking pictures of him. About 20 officers in all camouflage and, special forces like. And it occurred to me, they asked the question, are you supposed to be doing this with a prisoner? And one of the supervisors who was being interviewed says, well, they're not harming him. They're treating him well. And a second supervisor, he said that they were treating him with the utmost respect and professionalism. And what causes me to think about this a little bit further is this man was armed with a long rifle and a knife. He's a convicted murderer. He's considered to be armed and extremely dangerous. And yet, they were able to capture this man without firing a single shot. It says that they even surprised him in the capture. That they clearly had their eyes on him as he was in the underbrush trying to crawl away with this weapon, and yet they didn't fire a shot. You know where I'm going with this. Imagine if this man looked like me. How many shots would have been fired? He would not have come out of that forest alive. The law enforcement supervisors, he was so careful. He says, we're treating him with the utmost respect. The utmost respect. The man is a murderer. And he's armed and dangerous. And he's saying, we're treating him with the utmost respect. Why is it that you can do that for others, but you cannot do it for black people? Why is that? That's the question. Is there no respect? The young lady who was just killed, I think in Ohio, she wasn't treated with respect. Allegations of shoplifting, and she's killed. Another young man, officer gets out, confronts him, shoots him within 3 seconds of approaching the car. People of color, not treated with the utmost respect. Unarmed, not a felon, no long rifle, no knives, and yet we continue to see law enforcement officers act in the way they do. And we talk about, well, there's a need for more training. No. We don't need that. What we need is to get rid of all these racist cops and law enforcement officers who have penetrated our law enforcement agencies. And they're acting with impunity when it comes to people of color. But when they want to, they can restrain themselves and say, oh, we acted with the utmost professionalism when we needed to. Well, that should be every case. Every case. You're not judge, jury, and executioner. And that seems to be what takes place automatically when you see someone of color. 3 seconds, shoot to kill. Well, I fear for my life. I wonder if you were to ask the 400 or so law enforcement officers who had been assigned to this case to hunt down this armed and dangerous felon, were at any time were they in fear of their lives, especially those who came upon him in the woods. He was armed. Did they feel threatened? Apparently not, because not one shot was fired. This is why we need reform in the criminal justice system and in our law enforcement agencies. There needs to be a wholesale change, and a lot of officers need to be fired.